Yo, what up, what up? Welcome back, welcome one and all. It is Rich Gadge. Time to talk a little bit of college basketball. Oh, what's up?
That's what I said. What's up?
What up, man? You already know, joined with Underrated. How you doing, man?
Good. Great weekend. 8-2 on our parlays. Can't complain about it. We're going to have a couple more for today. Small day, but a couple good games. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, we got two projected really close, really good high-powered teams going at it. And then Penn State's traveling out to Ohio State. So, for only 3 games, not a couple bad ones to have in the mix, at least for a light bit of Monday. But we'll talk about our games here, and we'll also go over a little bit of Unrivaled for tonight. Got some pending injury news for that, so could make some moves. Right now, I think we'll probably hit the pause button just in case, because that's quite a few people with some few tags. So potential value could definitely open up here for us. But before we hop into it, you guys do us a huge favor. As always, hit that like button down below. Help us grow the channel, grow our little small corner of the community here, and fight those algorithms alike. Turn those subs on, hit that button for notifications, and make sure to be a part of the Discord. Still running 7-day free trials, so check it out. Links in the description down below. All right. Well, I think today will mostly kind of be a chill stream, by and large. We'll talk a little bit about today, the women and the men's playing, and then we got a pretty big Tuesday coming up again, like we talked about before the weekend. Now, moving forward, most of the time it's going to be Saturdays will be our biggest day, followed by Tuesday, and then, sprinkle in Monday, Friday in the mix as well. Well, probably like Monday, Wednesday. Friday's really been kind of pitiful the last couple weeks now, but yeah, Tuesday is going to be our next big day. So we will definitely be locking in for that. As you mentioned, we had a pretty good weekend, all in all. A little bit unfortunate with the Illinois players that we had, but, we digress. Can't expect Wagler to hit, 42 points or whatever every single night. So bit of a misfortune there, but still, the bookies were caught on to it. They moved up Stojakovic from 13.5 points, which he was plus money last game too on a couple sites, and he went all the way up to 16.5 on a few sites and 15.5 on Prize Picks. So bit of a different adjustment there, but we'll take a look at all that stuff here in a little bit. They started adding a lot of props as we were getting ready to hop on stream, so really haven't had a chance to look at most of the stuff for tomorrow yet, but a few things did stand out a little bit early. But let's, before we hop into men's basketball, let's talk about Unrivaled real fast because we got a little bit to cover. Now, most notable injury news for tonight, we have the Hive. Ezzy looks like she's going to give it a go, probable with lower extremities. But Sanaya Rivers was ruled out earlier, so a couple things with her being out should shore up a few more minutes for Sonia Citron, and I would like to say, honestly, Kelsey Mitchell, but man, I cannot trust her. She's been, honestly, on such a down performance this season. And we also saw this last game, Natisha Heidemann, she had her season-high minutes correlated with Kelsey Mitchell's season-low minutes, and then Sonia Citron still playing sustainable minutes every single game. So, shot in the dark here, I would say probably Sonia's looking at our best bet here for this team. 14.5 points is pretty low. She was 20.5 PRA earlier. If you want to play it at 21 flat on Prize Picks, I wouldn't fault you there. But majority of that production is going to come from just straight up scoring. So she's been flirting around that marker for a little bit here now. And honestly, pretty good game. I mean, we have the two of the bottom teams going at it tonight. So potential success on both sides here, assuming the game stays close. But this last game, season high minutes for Citron, 19 minutes is pretty nice, even though she only shot 6 of 16. 16 field goal attempts is pretty nice, all in all. You can't be mad at that volume. Only thing I got to say, baby girl's got to work on that three-point shot. She's only had one game so far this season with 2 3-points or more. So that is something she's got to get a little bit better at, especially in Unrivaled. Hitting a couple of threes is pretty huge. But this team as a whole doesn't shoot a whole lot of threes in general, so not really that surprised there. The minutes, though, production looks pretty good for her all in all. Only 2 games with 4 fouls and still played 15 minutes and some change. So I think for tonight, though, I mean, we saw 20 minutes this last game, basically. We could see another, somewhere between high 17, 18 minutes. Wouldn't be surprised if she plays a full 20 minutes tonight either. But minutes are going to be huge for her with Sanaya being out. I think even still with the production from Heidemann we saw this last game with the downturn of Mitchell right now, things are kind of trending in this direction. We'll probably see those two split a little bit more minutes, but Citron should be out there for as many minutes she can handle tonight. So, assuming the game stays close, that is something we're definitely going to keep an eye out for. And then, same thing with Ezzy as well. I will say they did have her points at 10.5, which felt just a touch too high for her. She's still getting outplayed by Monique Billings off the bench, and this wouldn't surprise me to see them go a little bit smaller for this matchup. But Ezzy still, all in all, I mean, she's only gone over that 10.5 point line 2 times this season, and that was off the back of double-digit field goal attempts. So kind of, just feels like one of those lines that's maybe a point too high. So consideration for her under, albeit it is going to be a pretty favorable matchup just scoring wise. Both teams are allowing, basically everything from the floor at a very high clip, but the line still just a little bit too high for her. So those two looks for this, the Hive team, I think pretty solid so far. And then the other major piece of news that we got, honestly, 2 other major pieces, but Alyssa Thomas, questionable. We have not seen her miss a game so far this season. And then Maddie Segrist also popping up with the Q tag. So really, I mean, both their center and one of their forwards, Maddie coming off of a great game. Alyssa, been pretty steady so far this season, but nothing too crazy. The matchup here, not bad. Honestly, not bad. But we will have to keep an eye out. So a couple of moves we can make. I think mainly Alyssa Thomas being out would be the main one. That should help out Jackie Young and Sykes alike. A little bit more rebounding upside for Sykes there, and a little bit more assist upside for Jackie. So PRA for both of them would be a strong consideration if Alyssa Thomas sits. And then if both of them sit, I think honestly, load up, get exposure to 2 different starters from this team, from the Laces, and, away we go. We don't have any Naz Hillman props, so that is a bit unfortunate there, but that's something, we could see the bookies sneak in a little bit later on today. But, I mean, as it stands, if they lose both of those players, Naz Hillman's going to have to play a ton of minutes, and then I think Sykes will probably play a little bit more as a forward role here. So, again, rebounding upside for her should be pretty major. Canada, I'd probably leave her alone, honestly. I mean, she's been so up and down all season, and it's kind of crazy. Her point prop is all the way down to 7.5 as well, so that kind of tells you where her production's coming from. If she get the spot start, I think that would cut in dramatically to the assist and playmaking, but I can't imagine she starts over either Sykes or Jackie here. So we'll keep an eye out for the bigs, what that situation will look like. I mean, Hillman, she is somewhat of a bucket, but the biggest thing about her is she's going to offer more 3-point upside, so that is kind of something to keep in the back of your head. I think that helps Jackie and her facilitating, but that also is going to make her hang out on the rim a little bit more, so that should help Brittany Sykes' rebounding upside as well. So just a few bit of things to keep there in mind. And then the last bit of news is Rakia Jackson popping up with midday Q tag. Honestly, Rakia's been pretty mid the last couple games now. Volume's been pretty good for her, but production has not been so great for her at all. So we will keep an eye out for that. I do believe that she is trending towards being out, though, because they did sign down here at the bottom. You can see they did sign Kiana Williams to the Breeze tonight, so she will be available. They haven't elected to do that so far to sign anybody, and Ari McDonald's been out the entire season. So with the signing of that, I do believe we could see Rakia also sit tonight. So that'd be a huge boost to Paige, I think, mostly, but the other production we'd likely see a little bit more of Cameron Brink and Kate Martin here in the mix too. They could start Kate Martin. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. But again, we need to see what starting lineups are going to look like for that. With Kate Martin, honestly, as a starter, I mean, that should put some pretty big production on Brink. I will say the bookies were a little bit divided on her. PrizePicks had her at 12.5 points. Underdog had her at 11.5 points earlier. Also 19.5 PRA, 18.5 PRA. So between 2 sites, obviously going with Underdog for the lower line. But Paige also might have herself a hell of a game, missing her wingman and Rakia being there. I mean, it's basically just been Paige and Malonga doing a bulk of the scoring and production for them. And then we got Brink coming in off the bench. So especially with the signing of that particular big, I think Brink moves more to like a power forward role and not the center role that we've seen her so far. So that'll definitely be something to keep an eye out for. We could also see her move into the starting role. That wouldn't surprise me either. Have rollout with Paige, Brink, and Malonga.
That's what I was about to say. Would they play them at the same time? That'd be interesting.
I think for this particular situation, that is something we could definitely see happen. And especially, I mean, you look at it on the other side, man. I mean, if they lose Alyssa Thomas and Maddie, this team has, really no size to them whatsoever. I mean, they're going to struggle to contain Malonga as it is. But, bro, if they go with the Twin Towers, I mean, this could be a real rough game for the Laces. I mean, they're just going to have to straight up outscore them from the arc. So a few things to keep an eye out on there. We definitely need some starting news for tonight. This is probably the most important slate of confirmed starters that we'll have.
So we'll be checking the news closer to tip and then drop our plays in the Discord. But I was thinking when you were talking there, might hit you as a funny one because I've been liking her under when she wasn't playing. But if you look at Skylar, man, I know she came off the bench last game, but if we see her in the starting lineup, I think that 14.5 points is very, 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 very doable for her. Because look at the minutes, right? 15 last game, and who does she come in for? Rebecca Allen?
Yeah, for Allen.
I mean, Allen could sit, I would think, or even play less minutes. I don't know. 14.5 is not a lot in this league. If she gets the minutes, because she put up 14 shots. So I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, no, 100%, because this was a player that we were talking about last slate as well. That volume took a huge step forward after getting that first game out of the way. And it's honestly been like that for a lot of these players who are just kind of getting into the groove of playing in the 3v3 style. But she was very dominant this last game. And, I mean, Coach, obviously 4-14 could have been a little bit better, but she still put up 6 3-point attempts. And that's pretty abnormal for Skylar. Traditionally, she's not a high 3-point shooter in general, but I think for this league, it kind of makes sense, for them to mix the shots up a little bit more. But yeah, man, 14.5 is definitely doable. I mean, we saw a couple different things as well. I mean, Mabry essentially took one field goal attempt in the final, 6 minutes or something of the game. And they ran a little bit of a different lineup. They had Skylar, it was Aaliyah Edwards, and then she kind of sprinkled in a little bit of Mabry. But, I mean, they were totally fine with leaving, Rebecca Allen and Banham out there for a little bit too. So, Skylar's definitely trying to assert herself a little bit more as a team leader here. And, I think in all fairness, they don't need Marina Mabry taking 21 plus field goal attempts every single night. I mean, that's kind of steep. And if she's humming, it'll be one of those games we'll see Mabry have her take over. But now also competing with the playmaking and stuff too, it was a little bit more of a different script this last game. So I do think we could see Skylar come out and roll out with the openers for this game. I would not be surprised at all.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Coach said he loves your beanie and he likes my voice. Wow, Coach, that's two really nice things. We love you.
Yeah, buddy, man. That's what happens. Get snowed in for the weekend. The roads thankfully are melting and most of the ice is melting, but temperatures are starting to drop pretty drastically. So I had a good slip and fall earlier out in the backyard.
Did you?
It's all. Yeah. Well, I mean, I was expecting it. I knew it was going to happen because our backyard, it plateaus and then there's a steep drop off around the edge of it. So that's normally where my dogs like to go. And
I was expecting the fall, you say? Yeah.
Yep. Did it gracefully. None of the neighbors were out there to see it. So, yep. Trying to stay warm. Make sure you guys stay warm, man. Stay warm. Weird weather we're having, nonetheless.
All right, bro. Well, I'm gonna put Skylar on the list, and I'm gonna put if starting. So we can be watching out for that, because if she starts, 14.5 is too low. So that feels like some value there if we can catch that line. And then what was the other ones we want to write down and make sure that we get on the list? I deleted the other plays we had there from Friday. We forgot to show how great we did. Besides the Illinois players, we did good. We're up 19.06 units now on the season. That's not bad. So let me delete these and we'll leave Skylar there for now. So 14.5 points if starting over here on the left. Let's make that what color? Red? We want red.
Yeah.
Okay. There we have it. Now, do we want to add Brink And why is URV what I wanted to write there?
Or UNV?
Yes. Is that what it was? No, UNR maybe. I'm trying to think. What the heck did they do on Prize Picks? Or on Bunk Underdog?
I think they spell it out all the way.
Oh. UNR. Okay, we'll leave it there for now. Anyways, what were the other plays? Brink? Do we want to go Brinky?
Yeah, I mean, Brink, especially if she gets the start, she should play pretty heavy minutes here.
Oh, yes. If she gets the start, for sure. Okay. Cameron, Brinky, 11.5 points, or do we want PRA?
The points, man. I mean, she hasn't hit her PRA line without the points.
Okay, and that's on Underdog. Okay, so we're basically waiting for the news for the best plays, and then any other stuff besides needing news. We're probably not playing anything else, huh?
I mean, if we get news that Alyssa Thomas and Maddie are going to be out, I do think one of them ends up playing, or at least is kind of filler for minutes. Alyssa Thomas popping up with a Q tag though, I think that's pretty massive. So I would honestly, I think Jackie, man, her PRA is still pretty fair. Prize Picks had her at, I believe, 18 points flat earlier, as long as that hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. Prize Picks has the abbreviated. It's UNR.
UNR. Okay, cool. That's what I have there. Makes me feel a little better. Coach said he's growing. What do you grow? Coach, what are you growing? He said he's growing. I don't know what that means, but that's good. Growing's always good, Coach.
What up, Coach? What up, Coach?
We're glad to have you around, Coach. We haven't seen your comments in here in a minute.
Love to have it. Got great minds in here today. Great minds. So make sure all those great minds out there, make sure you're hitting that like button. Help us get everyone else in here so they're not missing out on this good juiciness. It's juicy.
Man. Yeah, man.
I think, honestly, I mean, they're really making us pick between Jackie and Sykes here. I mean, these are two pretty favorable lines. Sykes' line is quite a bit lower than per usual. We were laughing last time because I knew they weren't going to bump her way down after that one or two bad games. She was at 19.5 points this last game too, but 18 points is pretty fair. I mean, they have both of them at the same thing. The rebounding upside, and I hate to take just a straight rebound prop, but Sykes at 5.5 is pretty interesting, pretty appealing if Alyssa sits. But again, this is going to be really starter lineup or starting news dependent. Exactly who we're going to like. But I will say, just in a blanket look, Jackie PRA probably the best course of action if AT sits, because we should wheel a little bit more assist upside from the starting unit. And then the only time the assist I think would go down is anytime with Canada on the floor. But typically in those situations, Canada is more of a pass first, shoot second. So Jackie should fall into a little bit more shooting opportunity here. Plus, for this matchup, the size in the front court that they're going to be going up against on the other side, I think they're really going to have to take a lot more three-pointers this game. And, I mean, truthfully, it's just going to be Jackie and Sykes taking those threes. So one of them likely to get hot. I'm not a magician, I'm not a mind reader, seeing the future here, but both of these two should take a lot of threes here this game. I think, again, there's just massive rebounding upside for Sykes and then the assist upside for Jackie here with Alyssa Thomas news. So we'll keep an eye out for that. I mean, this game honestly could be a little bit more of a pass just in general. Two better teams going at it, where we got the scrubs going here for the other games. So a little bit more action on that first game tonight.
So do we want to write if AT's out, Jackie and Sykes, or are we just chilling?
Yeah, we'll put them both down for now because, I mean, I think it warrants exposure to both of them here.
And PRA for both?
Yeah.
Okay, so right, if AT out and if AT out. All right, half unit for both, and then one full unit for the others. I know it's scary to do full units in this, but I don't know, man. If Brink and Diggins are starting, I feel like their lines are pretty low that a unit might be something to do there. You think that's a little too much?
No, I mean I don't think that's a stretch at all. Skylar especially because she's been pretty solid, pretty proven. When she gets the minutes that she can produce. The only thing with Brink, I will say, is the foul trouble from time to time can be kind of obnoxious. That's always just a drawback with her, unfortunately. But being out there with Malonga, Malonga is going to be a menace on the glass, so they're really going to have to spread the ball out a little bit more scoring wise. So. The 11.5 points is pretty low, though. I have to agree with that.
Oh, if she's starting, man, yeah. Okay, cool. So we'll go full units if we get the correct news there. All right, I like that. So it's all news dependent, which is the best way to do it here, anyways, because the value is not going to be there without that type of stuff going on. Coach says, if you were stuck in a cage with McOden and Liz Cambridge, how do you say it? Cambridge. Would you come out alive?
Yeah, probably. I'll just hop on the back of Liz and let her punch McOden in the face, and away we go. Back to her OnlyFans.
All right. Nice one. Coach says, I have a sneaky play of the day. People should take the free trial and come to the Discord and see it. Dang, Coach got a sneaky play of the day. All right, there you go. Yeah, if you come to the Discord, Big Coach will be in there with his sneaky POTD play of the day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's where you're gonna also have to be if you want to catch any of those Bet Online stuff. We try not to put most of that up here because YouTube's being a little bit weird with the offshore sites, but make sure to be in that Discord. We had a pretty stellar weekend, and today smaller slate, but still some good looks. Buddy, move. And then tomorrow's going to be a massive slate, so a lot to work with. Dog, move. It's like in the most awkward spot underneath me. Like, dog, get out of here.
Nope. He wants to just, cuddle up. He wants to snuggle up. It's cold. It's cold time these days. So, okay. Yeah, the ESPN bets / Bet Online bets have been really good over the weekend. Thank goodness. We can keep it rolling tonight, I'm sure. We'll have those in the Discord, like he said. Those have been money. I'm hoping it continues. It should. Doesn't make any sense if it didn't. A bunch of easy alts. Guys just got to play half decent and not get in foul trouble when we win. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah. We're just looking for average games here. Nothing crazy.
Not even average. Below average still works. That's how wild it might be. Okay. So anyways, we got that. Now to college basketball.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit of college basketball. We did get a fair bit of news this afternoon, mostly just from Ohio State. They had a few late scratches, and I'm not going to get on my soapbox about this, but
no box.
The first game that Tilly's going to be out so far this season, and then they also ruled out, I think the only other honest relevant player was Gabe Cupps off the bench. He's one of their guards, so what that's going to do, more than likely, is we'll see more minutes sprinkled out to Mobley. Maybe a little bit more for Thornton, but he already plays most of the entire game as it is. But I think Mobley will probably soak up a little bit more minutes here, and then we'll definitely see Bynum and Ivan pick up more minutes down low here. Which, honestly, I do think, Coach brought this up earlier, too. I think this is a matchup where they could also go small. So this particular Penn State team, all three of their interior players, don't really do a whole lot. They're all single-digit field goal attempts. They really attack from the outside. I know we had a lot of interest in Mingo this last game, and, rightfully so, even though he shot extremely bad, went 3 of 14, but still second season high, or no, tied for third season high field goal attempts. 14 attempts is no slouch from any kind of player, and his props were fairly low. I think he was at 20.5 PA. The points today, I believe, down to 14.5, which makes sense. But the matchup here is going to be a little bit more difficult. Ohio State, we know we always traditionally attack them. I'm about to say attack them from the inside, but attack them with bigs down low. And so totally different game script here for these guys. I have zero faith in any of these three being productive down low. So tough click there, but perimeter defense has been really solid for Ohio State. So there's a couple things here of interest. I know one of them, let's talk about, this one was a little bit more difficult to find, but just start out on Penn State real quick. But Mingo, he was at 5.5 assists earlier, and I don't think they have the gall to move him down to 4.5 assists, but I mean, this guy's really struggling to get that 6 assists. I mean, we've only seen it 3 times so far this season, and a lot of it too is just, as I mentioned, the other 3 players for the team are just basically do nothings. They go to the bench players a lot for a little bit more scoring upside, but also with him, with that field goal volume, especially playing from behind, this dude doesn't pass a whole lot in the second half. I mean, that's something I noticed. He had a lot of assists in the first half, but in the second half, he does not like to pass the ball. So another game, assuming they'll be playing from behind, 5.5 looked a little bit too high. I don't think they can move him down to 4.5 because the last 5 games here just looked a little bit too good for that. But 5.5 assists was a little bit, I think, too high. A little bit. But odds could be a little bit better. They did shift quite a bit throughout the day too. I know PrizePicks doesn't even offer it. They just have his demon prop for the over. But if you can find it, this was at least one that was worth a look for a small slate.
Shall we add to the list? Half unit?
Maybe. We'll keep it in consideration for now. Maybe circle back to it later.
Okay.
With Ohio State losing a couple of guys, I mean, even just a one big down low is, could be problematic. God forbid their center get active and, just kill them with the pick and roll game. But I do like it, honestly. I'll probably have some personal exposure to that.
Caden Mingo under 5.5 assists. Big lean, almost to the list. We'll see how it feels later. All right. Big Mingo.
Big Mingo.
Hey, we went 4-0 on the unders and over the weekend. So maybe another under is the way.
That's true. That's true. Now, the other under that we were looking at, and I still like it even after the news here. I mean, it just makes his rebounding a little bit more sketchy, but they had a pretty huge difference on Devin Royal, his fantasy line. I see that Underdog did actually, in fact, pull at least him. They probably pulled some of these other guys too. Let me look real fast because they had all the props. Yeah, they took it down too. So kind of weird that PrizePicks only had props for Devin Royal today. They only had points for the remaining Ohio State players, which I think honestly is just some total bullshit, man. They had insider info knowing that Tilly was going to sit today. It looks like a beautiful under. I'm not going to lie, man. Even with him being out, I mean, this guy's only hitting this 5 times this season. Sorry. Let me circle back. Underdog had him at 25.75 or 79 earlier, and PrizePicks had him at 28.5. So massive difference between the two sites, first off. But just in general, he's only hit this line 5 times so far this season. 4 out of the 5 games where he scored 17 or more points, which also I will say, we're taking a half unit on his 16.5 point under. So 5 games he got there were 4 of them all from scoring, and then 1 of them was the season high rebound rating right here where he had 12. So this is my only concern today, is just if he falls into a few more rebounds with the center being out. But still, all in all, I mean, he's a low block steal guy. It's not something that he does in many of these games. But in all those games, he only got there from getting his point line, which has been a rarity so far this season, the abnormal rebounding game, and then also 2 of those games in the season, Ohio State scored over 100 points, which has literally only happened 2 times this entire season. So assuming they don't go drop another hundo out there, which would be just astronomically wild, I mean, he's really struggled to get this line. So, even with the injury news, I still like it. As Coach mentioned, they could go small here. Wouldn't be surprised. He'll play a little bit more as a traditional forward out there. And that can kind of handicap a little bit of his scoring. So still just, even with the injuries, this is just too high of a line for him.
Dope. Now, put that on the list for a half unit, or are you scared now?
Yeah, let's go with a half since we did get it after the injury news. We did post it earlier initially, but I think the half of a unit is still totally fine.
Devin Royal, and we're doing straight fantasy, not points, right?
Oh, actually, half and half. Half on the fantasy and half on the points.
All right.
Yeah, let's do that because I mean there is a world again he could go off on the rebounding and cripple us with that, but the scoring has really been the true thing to get him there.
All righty, it is on the list.
Dope. All right. Let's move along. I know we had a couple of different interesting plays. One field favorite, I guess we'll just go ahead and talk about the Louisville Duke game here real fast. Pretty popular play, Mikael Brown. This will be his first time playing against Duke. He ended up sitting for their first meeting while he was dealing with that injury, but came back this last game, looked really good. Vatek, not at all a formidable opponent, but they were able to hang around. He still played 29 minutes in his first game back, so things look pretty good for him. But I got to say, Duke is a little bit scary, and also being a road game, Duke at the house has been a really formidable opponent so far this season. Now, the best way to beat Duke is going to be from three. So, honestly, we're kind of looking at Mikael and Conwell alike to do a lot of damage from the outside. Mikael's coming off of a really, really efficient game, though. I got to say, 7 for 11, probably one of his best games so far this season, scoring-wise and, general percentages. But he also hit 3 threes, which is tied for a season high for him, too. So keep that within the expectations. I do like the assist upside. I think that is still something that we saw strong flashes of early on in the season before he got hurt, and 6 assists his last game still looks pretty solid. So I don't mind the assist upside at least from him today, but he's going to have to hit some threes because he'll be lucky to get 4 free throw attempts. Duke does not foul a whole lot, and they are pretty good on the interior, so he's going to have to hit that mid-range and get those threes up there. But, all things considered, as long as the minutes are still sustainable for him, usage rating looked really high, and they're kind of making you pick between the two players of Mikael and what's up, buddy? And Conwell. Now, we know Conwell's going to be the three-point guy. That's all he does. That's all he does is shoot threes, and he's been snagging a bunch of rebounds lately too, which is something we'll kind of talk about. But I don't know if I'm sold on this. I know we kind of made our rule. We're trying not to take these really good defenses on the road games if we can help it, or at least defenses at home. Those have been extremely dangerous to kind of take props over against. But if you want to play a half unit on him, I get it. Don't go too carried away with it because he is still coming back from injury. So there could be somewhat of a soft minutes cap on him. Maybe he plays 30 minutes this game, but I'd be surprised if he plays 33, 34 minutes like we saw early in the season.
And which prop is your favorite?
His PA, I think, honestly, is the strongest one that we have. 18.5 looks like a fair number.
18.5 PA, Mikael Brown. Strong lean.
Yeah, strong lean.
Strong lean, mentioned on stream. All right.
Yes, sir. All right, we got 2 other players. We're going to switch over to Duke's side of things. And another field favorite today was Isaiah Evans, his points at 14.5, which, honestly, looks pretty solid. Again, both of these teams, phenomenal interior defenses. So we should see a lot of three-pointers going up on each side. And he played pretty well in their first game. He put up 23 points against them. Again, did all the damage from 3. So that's something we've seen all season. Anytime he's had 3 or more threes, he's pushed the pace really close to his normal point prop. But it is going to come from 3. Best believe, if he gets there, it's going to come from 3. Last 2 games, he ended up getting a fair amount of free throws against Stanford to kind of pull him over. But this last game we saw, albeit, yes, they did blow out Wake Forest. Wake Forest was an easy spot. Massive pace up for them. And that game's a track meet. They still scored 90 points. So something to think about. Bro's got to be efficient. I do like him at home. He's been a little bit better in general. But still, you know what you're getting into with three-point shooters.
I put him on the list for 0.5 units. I know you might not like it much, but I must do it. I just have a strong feeling about him today. I don't know. Maybe it'll be wrong, but I think 14.5 is too low for him against Louisville, especially at home.
No, hey, I get it. He's definitely been productive over this last month now. And realistically, we're just looking for the games with the double-digit field goal attempts. As long as he stays around that marker, he's been good for this point for basically, all season. I think he only had 1 or 2 games that he missed. Let's see, he had 1, 2, 3. So yeah, three games of the 12 where he had double-digit field goal attempts. So pretty good. I like the usage. I like the rating. His time on the court also very sustainable. Not a foul threat or anything like that. They did also have his PA at 15.5, which I know he's probably only going to get maybe one assist every game, but still getting that little bit of extra was kind of appealing. But I do have to agree. I think the 14.5 points was a solid look.
Dope, 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 dope. I like that play.
Dope is dope. And then we can't forget about the big boozer. Now, his lines are up there. No ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, he's been very productive the last couple games now, especially, so they got him in check. The probably the two most appealing lines, between the fantasy, which now you want to play it on underdogs, a little bit more discounted, but the fantasy just for the in general usage, but also he comes with a fair amount of block and steal upside, as you can see here. The turnovers have been a little bit more lately, so I would like to see that come back down to earth. 2.5 for that prop as well, kind of baked into the price. But yeah, honestly, I think the PRA and the fantasy make the most sense for him. I mean, he's a Swiss Army knife for the team. This last matchup, I mean, he barely squeaked over. I gotta say, he barely got there. He had icing free throws at the end of the game to kind of pull him up and over. This is typically not a matchup I would favor to target. If he was on the road again, I'd probably just say fade this. But he's been a little bit more extra special at home. The only thing is Louisville's been really, really good interior defense, like really good. And we're gonna have to also see this his 3-point efficiency. If he's not hitting at least 2 3 points this game, then that point prop or the point line for all the other stuff is gonna kind of weigh him down here. So just something to think about. And then also, if you want to take straight points, do not play this 24.5. He goes all the way down to 23.5 on. Oh, it's just on Bet Rivers. They had two other sites that had it as well earlier. So, Prize Pick's probably your best bet here. Then 24 flat, playing for the push factor, but at least you get a little bit more discount here.
Word him up, bro.
Word.
Boozer alt lines, the Monster alt lines, those always feel real good. I think they should be all right again. Boozer against Louisville, he should be okay. I know Louisville's tough. They did play before earlier this season, right? I think he balled out against them as well, right? 35. What is that?
Yeah, he had 35 PR.
PR, yeah.
30 PRA. I mean, he barely got over his lines. Again, his lines are just really high now. I mean, yeah. They know this guy, they cannot put him too low.
That's what I'm saying. It's tough to play his normal lines, but if you can find the right alts, I think that's the way to go with these star players, man. You can do 18 points and 5 rebounds and get decent value. Put it together with DeBonsta 18 points. Makes sense, man. I mean, all they got to do is do average or a little below average, and you're still going to hit. And then you still get some exposure on your favorite players. And profit at the end of the night. So jump in the Discord. We're going to put that together for you guys tonight.
For sure. Let's see what else. All right. So I think that's all we had really for that game. And then let's talk about, we had a couple other interesting plays. One of them moving over to the BYU game, though. I got to shout out Big Richie Saunders, man. This is a pretty favorable prop. He's been at 18.5 points for a hot minute now, and they got him back down to 17.5, which I think is very fair. And also his 15 or more points today were pretty favorable odds on the books. So if you guys can find that, but I don't want to settle for alt lines if we can help it. This is one of those, our rules that we have. If he can get the 15.5 and it's that close to the normal line, you might as well just play the normal line. So 17.5 points looks really good. He's only had one game all season, or one consecutive round of games all season where he did not get this point prop. In both of those, one of them was a blowout game, so he only played 25 minutes. And in this game against Clemson, which we know is not a team to really pick on for upside, he just had his actual worst scoring performance of the season. He went like 3 for 11 or some shit like that, like just sub 30% shooting on the floor. But not a bad spot here. Arizona, pretty good defense in general, but one of the better ways to attack them is going to be from beyond the arc. They've given up a fair amount of free throws too, which I don't mind for him. I mean, he's been getting to the line at a reasonable clip, but they're going to gum up that interior a lot. So we'll see a lot of shots going up from the wing, and this dude's been dangerous at home, like absolutely dangerous. They have not played so far this season, but home games so far this year, My man's only missed one time. Only one time. And he's averaging almost 21 and a half points a game. So some reasonable matchups too. I mean, if you can go out and give TCU the business, I don't mind that at all. But again, a few factors moving in his general direction, and then one kind of a little sprinkle on top that we're keeping an eye out for. Kennard Davis popped up with a Q tag yesterday. He's only missed a few games so far this season. It was way earlier on. He missed these 3 consecutive ones, but I think the minutes here should sure up for the wing players, and that would help Richie out just, maybe even just another field goal or 2 in general. But if he sits, I got to have some exposure to Richie, man, because BYU, we've seen the emergence of Rob Wright as well. He's played a hell of a basketball over the last couple months now, but it's basically just these 3 players. I mean, it's Devonster, Wright, and Saunders doing the bulk of the scoring, and they play a pretty tight rotation too. So assuming the game stays close, that's we should see guys out there playing a majority of the game, in general. But all in all, I like Richie, man. He's been a solid player for them. I mean, double-digit field goal attempts all across the board, all but those 2 games that we had talked about, which were two massive blowouts. So even in the games where they did blow out most of the teams, he still was chucking the ball. But I love the usage rating. I mean, bro's been rocking a high 20 for a minute now, even a couple of 30% usage ratings. But he's a 3-point sniper, mixed bag shooter. He gets to the free throw line. Which I got to say, he needs to work on the free throws a little bit. We've had a couple of these games where he went perfect, and then a few of these where it's just like, oh, man, what happened here? You're missing a few down the stretch that were pretty important. But I like him, man. I mean, he's been one of the studs for this team. He was a stud last year when they needed him. So coaches trust in him, and every game he plays basically 30 or more minutes. That's competitive.
Big game, big game. We're going to see what BYU's made of today, because if they can keep it close, Arizona's going to run. Points are going to be put up. It's just about BYU. Can they stay in the game? I know Vegas thinks they are. What is it, 2-point spread, 2.5? So we'll see. Arizona is number 1 for a reason, though. We shall see. Glad BYU's at home.
Yeah. BYU at the house. Nice, juicy 166.5 total. Can't be mad at that.
Mm-hmm. Not official, though. Just another strong lean, mentioned on stream.
I mean, this was definitely borderline official, man. I do enjoy playing Richie, and he's somebody who, at least on the team right now, his props are, not too inflated like they should be.
All right. Well, we will decide later before tip and put it in the Discord. We will update the list when we get our wits about it. Sometimes I like looking at plays and just letting them sit in my brain for a while, and it usually comes to me later. So we don't force it. We'll just wait.
Yeah, 100%. And this is something still news dependent as well. So if Kennard Davis sits out, like I said, I think that just helps out a little bit more minutes here, probably for both of the wing players. And then, Devonta, he's been playing as much of the game as he can possibly handle. He's squaring up against Peak today, which I am interested to see these two go at it. That should be kind of, honestly, a fun watch. But, yeah, man, Barry's, though, I got to say, one of the players who I was super high on earlier in the season when he was really kind of lighting it up. But I don't know, man. He's become back down to earth a little bit more. His defense especially has been very lackluster. They've been allowing a lot of scoring to the opposing shooting guards. So that was something that also kind of stood out for me. He does have these trade-offs where he doesn't play much defense and he's just all offense. So it exerts a little bit of energy on that end of things from time to time. But not really too scared, man. I mean, I know the matchup in general is a scarier click, but BYU at home, man, it's just one of those, the power teams at home. There's just something about that aura, getting the home crowd.
Two great games. Is that Ohio State game earlier? It is. That Ohio State game starts in 10 minutes.
No, it starts at 7 Eastern. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, that is an hour and 10 minutes. Okay, good. I was about to say, dang, do I need to go put in my place? What's up with Bruce today? No Bruce props? Or is he just too high?
Well, I mean, no, he's definitely way too high. Underdog had him at 35.5 fantasy earlier, and Price Picks didn't. I mean, they really didn't give us anything to work with from Ohio, man. I mean, like nothing at all. Literally the one player who was impacted by the news, and then everybody else, it was just straight up points. which, I mean, Bruce isn't even on here. That's kind of weird. He was 18.5 points earlier, though. I do know that for a fact.
And he's on underdog still, or no?
That is a good question. Let's see.
That's weird with no Bruce. He's the main guy people like betting on.
Yeah, no Bruce.
That is
No
weird,
Bruce.
Man. I was wondering when I was looking at these same game parlays, they didn't have player props for that game either. They still don't. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's definitely strange, and it kind of leads me to believe we might even see another person pop up here and get ruled out for Ohio State. If either Mobley or Thornton get ruled out, I would say get off of any Royal under props. That would be major danger. Bruce hitting especially, that would be massive. But we'll keep an eye out for those two. I mean, if somebody else pops up throughout the day, then we'll make some moves off of that. But yeah, so man, it's weird.
There's no lines for anyone except Royal on any site, you're saying?
Not now, it looks like. Let's see. Mobley.
Only his threes?
Yeah, I think this is on Prize Picks too. Yeah, see, Prize Picks and Underdog. And he's a demon on Prize Picks too, which is kind of weird. I don't know why Underdog has him at kind of a straight bet. But yeah, they're something is afoot here. I don't know what it is, but bookies know something that we don't get.
Yeah, they did that in UFC again. They canceled a fight because the odds moved so much right before the fight. They were like, nope, because this happened a few months back, and it ended up being some big ordeal, and dude just caved in and let the other dude win, and FBI got all involved. Dana White was like, nope, not this time. They just canceled it yesterday or Saturday. Something's going on with this one, though. Weird, no props. Super weird. Okay.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for that because, like you said, that's definitely weird. That is not like them to do anything, especially, I could rationalize that if it was a 19.5 point spread or something like that. But we have literally had Ohio State props from day one, all their props. And this is the first time all season that we don't have anything.
And this is a good game to have them, too. Penn State's always a fun, crappy defense to go against. It's interesting.
Yes. Yeah. And, even the game total looked pretty solid for this game. It was 153.5. I know Penn State, are they the slower or the faster team? I can't even remember.
I think they're both pretty fast. I could be wrong. I'd have to look.
Yeah, a little bit more mid for Penn State, and then Ohio State's a little bit better, slightly better.
I just know Penn State loves to give up points.
Yeah, they do. They give it up like it's prom night.
Whoever the star player is on the other team, they're usually going to go off. That's why I was thinking Bruce Alt wouldn't be bad today. But oh well. They're not going to give it to us, I guess.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for that news. I mean, thankfully, both of these two first games start at the same time, so we should get all that rolling in with enough time to hopefully react and make some moves off of that. But something to keep an eye out for. And then another thing, too, Puff Johnson, he made his debut for Ohio State this last game. He only played like 5 minutes, but I think tonight we could definitely see him play a little bit more in the second unit. I'd be really surprised if he gets a spot start. That would actually be kind of sick, but we'll keep an eye out for that. But I think, honestly, the Royal under, assuming nobody else gets ruled out and Bynum keeps his hands to himself, I still like the 28.5 under.
Yeah, man. I do, too. I know that it's not as good as it felt before the Tilly news, but it still should be okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
We got one last little bit of stuff to talk about. We'll glance over Arizona and probably skedaddle after that. We got a lot of news we got to keep an eye out for, so we'll make sure we are ready as best we can. If y'all haven't already, make sure to hit that like button down below. We appreciate every single one of y'all hanging out with us, chopping up some college basketball and Unrivaled today. It's a nice Monday for basketball.
Yeah, it is. I can't wait for this news, man. That Brink and that Diggins, those plays feel real nice. Give us that news. Don't wait till the game starts for the news.
Yeah, please, man, please.
It's all we need, because Prize Picks and Underdog aren't going to really react. They don't care about Unrivaled. So we'll just slide right in. Thank you. I'll take my unit.
Yeah, they'll just leave the neutral lines up the way they have them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Arizona, I got to say, probably one of the most frustrating teams to bet on so far this season. Up and down performances basically every single night between Bradley Burries and Koa Pete. Koa Pete especially, man, I got to say, he has just been so up and down.
Yeah.
In a pretty good spot, pretty reasonable spot. Again, I think we could see the freshmen going at it here. A little bit of a spotlight game for those two banging it out. But his PA upside, I think, is totally still fine. They didn't really adjust him up too much from this last game. Let's take a little gander here. But honestly, the only two players I'm looking at from this side's got to be Pete and then Jaden Bradley. But looking at Pete, rebounding, for me personally, complete fade for me. I do not trust this guy on the glass. Haven't trusted him since day one. Proved me right here down the middle of the stretch of the season. Line is way too high. 6.5, no thank you. But the points at 14.5. This has always been something, we've really given strong consideration every time it's been available. The assist upside, I still like it very much. He's been proven to have at least 2 assists basically every game that it has counted so far this season. So with that being said, I think the PA still 17.5 looked like a solid option. Anytime his shot's not falling too, that's something where we've seen him pass a lot down the stretch too. But points 14.5, real strong consideration, and in the PA as well.
You see where he has that 4-point game right down there with that red little tiny. Yeah, that's the one time I bet on him this year. Thanks.
Yeah, mine was over here in some of these ragtag games.
Yeah,
where he should have done a little bit more. But yeah, and no surprise, him missing against Cincinnati, snail pace game that they had. Cincinnati's been pretty good in interior defense as well, but not the worst spots. He could get a few really solid transition looks today, which I do think boosts a little bit of his scoring or PA upside. The Monster probably have a couple extra turnovers here trying to go off at home, but Pete's just, he's one of those players. He hits a stride, he's feeling himself for a couple games, and then it just takes a hard dip off. And the Alabama game, that was my fuck this dude game. I could not believe he played so bad.
Yeah, it's weird, huh?
Yeah, I mean, on a personal level, I do enjoy watching him play. He is a phenomenal player, but yeah, this game stung. This one hit me right in the kisser.
Look at the first game of the season. That's when I saw him first play, and I was like, okay, this dude's about to, be competing with Boozer to be the top big guy. Nope.
Yeah, which is crazy too, because Florida has played phenomenal defense ever since that game too.
They could not stop him. They could not stop him.
Yeah, dude. Where's this 30-point game? He's only had one game where he even sniffed something close to that.
Yeah. Super weird, but looking at this, I think I'll give him one more chance today and probably alt his PRA and let it ride. He should get there. He killed me on that one game, but I'm going to give him one more chance. Like Biggie.
Well, one other thing, too, that's been kind of volatile with him is, just the minutes. And it's not even from some games. Yeah, I know he had a little bit of foul trouble in, but really just down the stretch, one, if the game blows out, coach sits him early. And then 2, if he gets in any kind of foul trouble, coaches immediately benches him. So we really haven't seen him play sustainable minutes all season. I will say, if Bro plays 30 minutes, this has been a free walk-up play every single time, every time. But is he going to play 30 minutes? I don't know.
Big game though. He should.
Huge game. Huge game. So
two really big games tonight. Not a lot of games, but 2 amazing games.
Yeah, for sure. So, something at least I think warrants consideration. With it being a smaller slate, I'll probably have a little bit of exposure to both him and Bradley, which we'll talk about here in a second. But if this was a big slate, I'd probably just glance over this team as a whole. Now, Bradley, very up and down. Gotta say, shout out to Coach. Brought up a real good point about him. He only plays in the games that are super meaningful. If it blows out, dude does not care. He gets very nonchalant with the scoring, mostly from the scoring aspect of it. But any of the games that have been competitive, and in particular, all their road games so far this season, he's been 100% to hit his scoring and his PRA marker. So those two lines did stand out a little bit for me here. Rob Wright is no slouch on the other side, though. I got to say, he's played some hella defense lately, but decent assist upside for him. That's something that's been pretty sustainable all season for him. He's good for about at least 4 assists a game. Looking for that 5th assist here for this particular matchup, but yeah, it's got to come from the scoring, man. I know we've seen a couple of these games where he had the spike rebounds, and for somebody being at 3.5 rebounds, I think is totally fair. This is probably a game he'll probably scoop up a little bit more rebound opportunity from so many threes going up on both sides. But in general, I do need to see that scoring to actually come through. And again, he's been proven on the road, but it's a little bit more of a scary click. But it makes sense, honestly. If you go out, he plays his about 30 minutes that we see. He's been proven for the season, but limited sample size, only 4 games so far. Granted, they were 4 hell of a games. The fact that he put up 21 against UConn is very telling. That's downright impressive. But also TCU as well, man. On the road at their house, putting up 17 points, pretty impressive. Boogie's not really sure what to do with him so far today. The 12.5 actually came back. So this was something that was taken down for a while earlier, and the best option was just 13 flat on Prize Picks. But very divided. He's all the way down to 12.5 up to 13.5 points. 12.5, I don't mind that. The PRA is obviously baked in a little bit on the higher side with the 13.5, so just keep that in mind. But the 12.5 points, not bad.
It's pretty low. And BYU is similar to Penn State almost. It sounds funny, but they do give it up. Lots of points, lots of running. Only thing is, it's at BYU, the only scarier part of it. But yeah, his lines are pretty low, pretty attainable, but he's just a little inconsistent. But if he gets the minutes, like Coach said, I guess if he plays in in a bigger game, he'll have the ball in his hands. We do like that.
Yeah, he's played a lot more 30-minute games than Pete has so far this season, and like I said, as long as the game stays reasonably close, he's been pretty good, being productive just in a general sense. But there's definitely some games, man, where I've seen him in the second half. Like, this dude does not want to shoot the ball. Like, it is just not within him to even take a field goal attempt.
I don't like that.
That's my only thing, man. It's like, bro, if you go out and put up 12 points, like, everything else has been pretty easy to hit. But when he doesn't, you're getting metrics like this that make the rest of his RA upside a little bit more not so easy on the stomach.
He reminds me of a little bit of Caleb Love from last year. Just a little bit. He's kind of that guy, he definitely will have the ball in his hands, but will he be shooting it? We do not know. Alting his PRA is something I like to do, though, also, because he should get at least 15 PRA.
Yeah, no, that's a whole different story. The 15 PRA, we will miss that twice so far this season. Again, 30-point blowout, and then this last game where really just the whole team kind of struggled to score early. And
35-point blowout, too. They beat West Virginia by 35. Woo.
Yeah, yep. And
that shouldn't happen today. At BYU. Yeah, there should be. What's the point total on this one? It's pretty high, right? Decently high. Got to be with BYU.
Yeah. 166.5.
Yeah. That feels good.
Yes, sir. So smaller slate, but for what that is, there is definitely a few diamonds in the rough to kind of pick out here. So make sure you guys hopefully get your exposure out, not going too crazy today, with tomorrow being more of a massive slate. We got a lot of stuff to talk about on tomorrow's stream and a lot to work to do tonight after this stream. So we are, it's 4 minutes after the top of the hour. So we are going to get out of here in just a minute. Underrated Big Dog, you got anything else for us today?
Not particularly, man. Just wanted to say, guys, it's been a fun season. And I also think that we are really, really getting the hang of this college basketball, what the bookies do, why the lines are where they are, peeping the value when it happens. I feel confident that profit will continue. So look at that, 19.06 units on the season. We got 2 huge months coming up before March Madness begins. I'm pumped, man. I'm hyped. If you like college basketball, if you want to dabble in the props, it's fun. It's fun. So jump into Discord, subscribe to the channel, come kick it with us whenever. Either way, it's all good. And it's all fun. That's all. That's all, E.
That's it. That's the name of the game. Have some fun, make some money. All right, y'all. We are going to skedaddle and get ready for tonight's events, but make sure you guys be a part of the Discord. Still running that 7-day free trial, so don't miss out. No commitment either. If you don't, if you're not having fun, don't like what you see, no problem. And if you're winning some money with us, you know, hey, glad to have you. Glad to have you. Well, with that being said, folks, good luck this evening to all your bets, parlays, and et cetera, et cetera. We'll keep you guys posted for news moving forward, and we'll be back tomorrow for another banger stream. So good luck tonight. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.